Hello, my name is Courtney Frasier, and I am a contemporary artist working on my MFA at Savannah College of Art and Design. This interview is part of my self-promotion class, and I've been asked to answer questions from several of my peers. I have chosen two to answer. The first question comes from Nick. Nick asks me to consider the spaces within which I make my art and to speak on how the transformation of my work has affected the spaces within which I now am looking to exhibit. When I first started at SCAD, my work was very small and controlled. I was doing watercolors that were about 5 inches by 5 inches at best, and the entirety of my art making existed within that tiny space. My work has progressed to taking up very large spaces and traversing areas. I string yarn from wall to floor and tend to use the entirety of the space within which I am working. I'm actually increasing my studio space size. I'm doubling it because I am outgrowing it. This will definitely affect where I will exhibit. I do not believe that a typical white box gallery suits my work any longer unless I get the whole gallery in which to install. I look to unorthodox spaces now and react to the spaces. The writings of Rosalind Krauss have greatly influenced me, her idea of the engaged space and encouraging the viewer to have a physical experience within that space have definitely affected not only my work, but where I look to exhibit. Maria has asked me to consider if there is something that has become integral to my work. I would say that I am very much a creature of habit, and although there has not been an addition of anything to my process since I have been at SCAD, there has definitely been an identification of my process, and I now know what steps I go through. I definitely spend a lot of time in the thinking stage. Most of the work that I do is internal as I consider different arrangements or different ways to express ideas that I have. Another habit of mine that I have focused on is walking away from the work and being okay with that. There are times where there are days where I just walk past my work and look at it and consider it, and I might move it just a little bit to see it in a different light, but that ability to let the work sit and my comfort level with considering it without having to take it further until I'm ready, that is something that I have come to I've become more comfortable with. Finally, I usually end the work with an extreme burst of manic activity after it has been sitting and I have considered for an ample amount of time. I usually have probably 2 to 4 days where I manically make and make and make and make until I reach my stopping point. So although there isn't one thing that's integral, I would say the process itself has become more defined. Maria has asked me to consider if there is something that has become an integral process to my work. My immediate response would be red wine, but that's